This is Natalie Pace, and today is day 16. Think bigger. That is today's mantra. Think bigger. It's interesting because a lot of times when we're thinking of our problems, the solution is going to lie in getting help, thinking bigger, thinking differently. I want to give you a few examples how this is going to work. So today I had a coaching session and it was with a couple. They're in their mid 50s. They have a 20-something daughter. She still lives at home and her boyfriend is living there with her, but they have jobs and they want to get their own place. Now, that is going to start making the landlord rich, and that might be the right answer. But what I encouraged all of them to think about was this. What if we thought bigger about that? Because let's say it's $1,000, which it's not. Most people are spending way more than that on their little rental, their little cubicle, their one bedroom, one bath, might be even $2,000, right? That would be $24,000 a year. So what if they made an agreement with the parents and the parents allowed them to now function as adults and not teens? So different set of rules. And they said, instead of making the landlord rich, why don't you put $12,000 each one of you, maybe 6,000 each one of you, or 24,000 if it's $2,000 a month, 12,000 each one of you, into your tax protected retirement accounts. We want you to learn how to invest so that that is going to start doubling, right? If you're contributing, it can double within 7.5 years if it's only earning a 10% income, a 10% ROI. That's a different way of thinking bigger. It's stop making the landlord rich, start building up our own wealth, and that can be the down payment to purchase a house. Now, I'm not saying purchase a house right now because this is 2025 going into 2026 and housing is unaffordable and you could be buying high and that could be a problem. It has a lot of other problems attached to it. So I'm not suggesting that you just do that. But what I am suggesting is that people think bigger. Okay, I'll give you another example of how thinking bigger helps. So I'm in a position right now where I would like for the ABCs of money, what I call the life math that we all should have received in high school, to be something that everybody understands and to make our web apps mobile apps. I do not know how to code. I am not a I'm okay as a user of technology, but I am definitely not a coder. I am going to need to find an accelerator and a CTO in order to do that. Me trying to do it by myself is not going to work. So I'm putting it out there. Hey, I'm looking for an accelerator. I'm looking for a CTO. I want my web apps and my 26 years of research on the life math that we all should have received in high school to be something that everybody has on their mobile phone. So they learn how to save thousands of dollars annually. They learn how to invest better. They learn how to be the boss of their money and they can transform their lives. The only way I do this is by thinking bigger. And thinking bigger for me is that accelerator program or that CTO who's going to come in and make it happen. So that's what I want you to do. Maybe, what are your goals and aspirations? Look at, some of the things that you would be doing if money were not an object. Where would you like your business to go? Are you doing that 5 to 9 passion project? Is that something that you want to lead to your 9 to 5? Is it possible that people can help you to do that? Remember, we're talking about partners this week, right? And this is where the magic lies. Of course, you still want all of the other mantras top of mind, and I'm going to go through them one more time so they are top of your mind. Love, breathe, gratitude, forgiveness, wisdom, not blind faith, wisdom, time-proven strategies. Practice wisdom and time-proven strategies. Exercise, there's reasons for that. The mindset of abundance. Are we still donating at least 1 hour of our time each week? The power of yes, of learning how to frame things in a win-win scenario instead of that negativity, all the don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Change it to, hey, let's do that. Hey, what about that? having vision and how to get there by playing that financial freedom game. And if you need access to it, join us at the retreat. We do try to do it at least once a year somewhere. In 2025, it was at Santa Monica twice on the beach. In 2027, it'll be here at this Royal Manor House on a private estate in Cornwall, England. We'll figure out where we're doing it in 2026, but maybe Stanford, maybe Santa Monica Beach again. Are you having any fun? What are you creating? Are you creating peace or are you creating dissension? Are you putting your heart into it? Is it beautiful? And we have talked about why there are reasons for all of that. And how did it go yesterday when you were considering how you might be the sacred union, more of a sacred union? Remember, we will attract people based on the energy that we have. And if we have a strong, powerful aura, even people who are not maybe as strong and powerful. Look, I'm not trying to be all that or say I'm all that, but I am very proud and happy of where I am at the age of 65. And it's been a 65-year project to get to this point where I'm not, doing any of the negative behavior that I have done in the past. We all have done it. We've all fallen into these habits. But when I'm walking down the street with a genuine smile, which is part of my aura, even people who are, and there's somebody I'm thinking of specifically right now, and hello, hello, hello. Oftentimes I'm walking around Santa Monica, I see the same homeless person seated in an alcove with a beer, and he's very skinny, and I'm guessing that he might be suffering from the disease of alcoholism. But every time I walk past him, that person is the first person to say hello. Hi, how are you? And he means it, and he smiles. And I'm just saying that it up levels everybody. But if you really want to attract powerful, successful, positive, lighthearted aura people in your life, solutionaries, as Michael DiMartino would call them, you have to be one yourself. That's how you attract it. Okay, so think bigger, sacred union. We went over the other mantras that should now be living in who you are. You don't even have to think about them, right? Well, you might if you did, if I went through that list and you're like, I forgot about that one. And by the way, I sometimes have to wake up in the morning and count my blessings and force myself to count the blessings. We all do. It doesn't mean that every single day you wake up and you're sitting in your power zone. That's why it's called a practice, right? That we have these tools that when life hits us smack in the face with something that stinks and is ugly, and we all get hit with it, that we know how to move forward and not allow it to become dis-ease, which then becomes disease. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Think bigger, sacred union, partners. That's part of the magic this week, and I'll see you tomorrow.